Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater. Rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, so a lot of stuff to talk about today, right, Patrick?
Yeah, so much stuff that with all the boating news that is out there. I mean, we're coming into, the boat manufacturers are 2022 models are now coming off out of the production plants.
Right.
We're in the midst of
A
really
boating boom.
The boating, well,
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. But with everything out there, I would like you all, individually or as a group, to promise me live on air that no matter what happens in the future, we will never, ever, ever do a show dedicated to cooking on a boat or using any type of cooking utensils on a boat. Can you all promise me that right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sure. Not.
I appreciate that because there would be nothing worse than to dedicate a whole show to what to use on your boat for cooking.
How do you get to? How do you get a boater on your side? Through the stomach. Hello.
You go boating, you go to restaurants on the water.
No, you catch some fish, grill it up on the grill there.
No. Restaurants on the water, not the food in the water.
I do appreciate you all taking that oath live on air. It is recorded.
We'll never do it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing would be worse. So coming into boating news, one story that it's somewhat boating related, probably more Greg Holt related. And I wanted to get Greg's take on this. This story actually broke, I believe it was yesterday, came across the World of Boating Newswire. A lobster diver who jumped off his boat off the coast of Provincetown, Massachusetts, to check his traps. What do you think happened to him?
He caught some lobsters.
No, the lobsters grabbed his bathing suit and pulled it off.
Wow.
No,
Only Barry would think that.
Why did you go there?
Well, they do have claws, and they don't like being caught anyhow.
Yeah, but why'd you have to bring nudity into it? I mean, really, Barry?
Well, I thought you would enjoy that.
Boy, something wrong with that
Mike,
boy.
You got any ideas of what happened to this lobster diver?
I don't know.
All right, so
Who knows? I mean,
he was 45 feet below the ocean surface when suddenly he felt this huge bump and everything went dark. Again, any ideas what may have happened?
Well, was he using tanks or was he free diving?
It really doesn't say, but I'm going to say 45 feet below.
Yeah, he was on tanks.
He had tanks. Oh, he had to have
A
tanks.
scuba diver.
He
For
blacked
lobster.
out.
I don't know.
Well,
No,
you
don't
get
make it
right
a
to
quiz.
He-
We
he-
can't take this, Patrick. Come on.
He said first he thought he was the victim of a shark attack, but after noticing a lack of sharp teeth, he realized he was in the mouth of a whale.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me before.
You
No,
sure
just-
wasn't 145 feet down and he was a little narked?
No, he said
no,
45 feet down, right?
Well,
So he was on a tank because he said he was still struggling to breathe through his regulator. That apparently caused the whale to shake its head with 30 to 40 seconds. The animal surfaced and ejected Mr. Packard from his mouth. Packard's shipmate Josiah Mayo said he saw Packard being expelled from the whale.
Actually, I'm very familiar with this story. I don't know the guy, but I did read up on it. It's quite an interesting scenario. So he was trying to get his lobster, and a humpback whale was following a school of fish that swam right by him. And humpback whales like open up their mouths and they just kind of scoop up a big school of fish. And he happened to be in the middle of that school of fish, I guess, and he scooped the diver up.
Well, I bet the whale was surprised.
Yeah, well, yeah.
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 Ew, what is this? And he
There-
spits it out.
Well,
I can
here's the
imagine
thing.
him flying.
Just to be technically correct, these particular whales, these humpbacks, are filter feeders, so they don't, they don't eat people. And I don't even know. They were saying the whale would have never been able to get the diver down his throat anyway, just because of how they're designed, I guess. So when he got in there, he said he felt the muscles of the whale's jaws or mouth or whatever, or throat, and started just moving around and bumping it as much as he could. He wasn't sure what was going on, but sure enough, the whale started shaking. He's like, okay, I'll do it more, and finally it just spit him out. But he was like in the whale for like 20 to 40 seconds or so, which is
Holy
an eternity. Right.
Well, it's happened before, according to Jonah.
Well, I've read about that. Yes.
Yeah. So.
So, but this was a pretty crazy story, and he lived to tell about it. So I don't know. He did say, he goes, I thought this. I mean, this is it. I'm done. Because initially he thought he was swallowed up by a shark, and then, like you said, he didn't notice that. He's like, hey, there's no teeth. Well, what's going on? What am I in?
Yeah, I think
What's
he's probably going to switch to freshwater fishing now.
possibly
instead of lobstering.
very possible?
There's some big alligators out there too. So
But they
Well,
were saying
fine
they've
in
never
Marina, right?
documented this other, this happening before, other than the Jonah and the whale story, I guess. But
you could have cut yourself out.
well, maybe, yeah. Most divers have those big ass dive knives.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but I don't even think he thought that far ahead. I don't know. He just said he moved around, punched the walls of the mouth or throat or whatever, and obviously the whale didn't like it. But that'd be a freaky encounter for sure. And what an awesome story does he have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he sit down and just light a candle in there and sing songs?
No, there was no.
Okay.
I don't think there was any air. It was all
Disney
water.
has-
He was just in his throat, or in his mouth. So he never got into the stomach because, like I said, supposedly in a humpback whale, the throat opening's not big enough for a person to fit through because they're filter feeders. But they got these
Well, he
huge.
certainly tested that.
Yeah,
theory.
exactly. I wouldn't want to test that evolutionary factor when
swallow
it
that
comes to
pill.
those type of critters. But yeah,
So
it's
science can check that one off the list.
the only thing I read about that story, Patrick. I don't know if you noticed this. Is as far as injuries, all he said he had soft tissue injuries. What the heck does that mean?
That means that he was kind of the whale, possibly, in scooping him up. You get soft tissue injuries, deep bruises,
Okay.
things of that nature. Possibly, you wind up with some torn muscle, torn ligaments, things like that. Would
Huh.
kind of be more of that than no broken bones or
Mhm.
concussion.
Right.
or
Plus, he
anything
got
like that.
slimed.
Yeah, evidently. You got whale mucus all over him. Right. I don't know. The moral of this story is stay on your boat unless you feel
Yeah, exactly.
comfortable getting in the water and being swallowed up by a humpback whale. But like I said, they can't seem to document this ever happening again or before, other than like the Jonah thing, from what I read too. So it's an extremely rare event, and just kind of like one of those lightning strike type of things. Even more rare than that, I guess. Right?
I wonder if a whale shark could do that, because they don't have any teeth either that I know. They're all
Well, it's about the
they-
opening of the mouth, I guess. I mean,
Well, you've seen how
whale
big they
sharks.
are.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough. I mean, well, it depends on how big the whale shark is. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you got whale sharks, you got basking sharks. Basking sharks are kind of the same thing. They have a huge mouth when they open it up and they filter feed, and you could fall into one of them if you were in their way. And but I would imagine the same thing would kind of
get
happen.
spit out.
Yeah, but a humpback is, actually, there have been incidents where, like, divers were on the surface, and I think it's humpbacks that kind of hunt in packs, and they'll create a bubble curtain, and like swirl around like a school of fish, and this bubble curtain that they create will kind of force the fish to the surface. And then the 3 or 4 whales that work together will come up and like gulp down the schools of fish at the surface. And there
So
has
the
been
moral-
situations where divers happened to be at a spot where they were bringing up their school of fish and, got a leg caught in a mouth and stuff, but it just like flopped them over and scared the bejesus out of them. But
So the moral of the story is, if you see a lot of bubbles,
Yeah.
swim away
Correct.
as fast as you can.
it,
right?
it could be a whale.
You're
It
part
could-
of the food chain.
It could be one of those underwater aliens, the UFOs that are out there now.
No more none of those.
What do you mean, none of those? What?
None
It's
of
happening.
those.
It's all over the news.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
but once again, the moral of the story is stay on your boat, unless you feel comfortable having an encounter that might make you mess your wetsuit or something. You know what I mean?
Does that mean
Yeah.
does that mean you're no longer going to be diving for lobster?
No, it's not going to stop me at all. It's such a rare occurrence, and gosh, just think of the story this guy has. He'll be the center of attention at every bar he goes to
right.
to
And
Yeah,
for
he'll never buy another beer.
for here to the
Yeah.
end of his
They're
life.
getting him a nice white outfit to wear.
Yeah. Okay, maybe there's that. More coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Captain Sparrow,
Come to join me, crew, lad. Welcome aboard.
I'm here to find the man I love.
I'm deeply flattered, son, but my first and only love is the sea.
Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, and Barry the boater rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, so if you don't want to get out in the water, dive for lobster, end up in the belly or the mouth of a humpback whale, maybe you just stay on your boat. And, it's a teach his own kind of thing. I mean, I'm not afraid. I'll go do it. I love it. It's worth the risk, catching lobsters, and then especially eating them.
Even staying on your boat can prove to be hazardous, especially if it's a rental boat, which was the case out in Texas this past week as well. By the way, all of the stories that we talk about and most of the stories that we don't talk about, we won't get to, these are all posted on the World of Boating Facebook page, which, through the magic of the internet, simultaneously appear on the World of Boating website. So check us out on either one of those two. Please pay special heed to our sponsors because they are the ones who keep us on the air. Again, this is a live radio show. We do know that a lot of you listen to it as a podcast, but it does go out nationally syndicated. So we appreciate you paying patronage to our sponsors. And if you do happen to partake of some of their wares, please let them know that you heard about them through World of Boating. We appreciate that.
True.
So, out in Texas, they've had a spate of rain, which has caused Lady Bird Lake, which houses Austin's Longhorn Dam, to open up the spillway. If you're familiar with the spillway, if you see those, that's where it kind of looks like one of those infinity pools, if you will, where it's just kind of flowing over the edge. This one at a fairly rapid pace. But these four boaters, call them boaters, four boat renters, took this electric boat out, and they got stuck right on the edge of this spillway.
Wow.
Literally, it was on a spillway, big time.
I think that's what I just said.
Yeah. Because they were right on the edge. I saw the pictures, and you kind of wonder, how did they end up there? Who's drunk? Or, you know, I mean.
Greg, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but they were right on the edge of the spillway.
Okay, but why were they there is the question. They lost power and then had no way to get away? Or did they weren't paying attention and then.
Maybe not enough power to overcome the current with a little electric motor.
Do we know?
He's trying to get to that.
Well, okay.
Possibly.
Spit it out.
I just want to let you expound upon your musings there before I continue with the story.
Okay. Well, we've done that. So
this is a electric outboard boat, and when I say electric outboard, judging by the overhead shot, this looks like one of those 1957 era electric boats, most notably because it's got tail fins on the aft end, and it's a very light turquoise green, and the seating arrangement would lend me to believe that it was more probably manufactured in that era. It does not give the rating of the outboard engine, the electric, but with the recent rains and with the spillway being opened up, you're going to get this current that is going to be taking you towards the spillway. And if you're not a knowledgeable boater out on Lady Bird Lake, this could prove to be hazardous, especially if you get yourself too close. And to Mike's point, you try to turn about and head out in the opposite direction, and you just don't have enough power there to overcome the current. And fortunately, they got hung up right on the edge, just probably about a third of the boat hanging over the bow, over the spillway.
Wow.
But I did want to take, and there's a drop off there, of course, in the rapid flow of water.
Right.
But I did have kind of with one of the news organizations that reported on this, and I won't name who it was, People Magazine. Their headline is "Helicopter Crew Rescues 4 Women Stuck in Boat."
We lost him.
Yeah, Patrick just fell over the edge. He went over the edge.
He got the undertow.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at this. It looks like something. It looks brand new, but I'm surprised these are electric motors. But they do look like something from the 1950s with the fins and all that.
Yeah.
And if anything, it being an outboard motor, that means it had a lower unit, and the skeg probably also saved them because it would extend below the hull and keep them hopefully from going over. But if you're all the way at the end by that, you'd probably go over anyhow.
Well, I just wonder how they got there in the first place. If they were really just kind of out cruising and not really paying attention, and then by the time they realized they were in trouble, like you said, they were stuck in the current and couldn't get out of there. But the big question mark is too, when you look at the aerial photos, you can see how the boat's right up to the spillway there. But did they actually know? Could they see? I'm not sure they could see over the edge.
Well, I think that was the point, is that you could see where there's concrete pylons on each side. So they probably went up to the edge and didn't realize that their little itty bitty electric powered motor was not going to be able to pull them away from there.
Right. But when they went back and saw the video, they were like, oh crap. You know?
they
and
ended
that's a
up
little
using-
bit of a choke point too. So the current accelerates as it gets close to that spillway.
Yeah.
And when you start to make your turn, you're accelerating towards that spillway. You're making the turn, even when you've gotten 3/4 of the way through your turn, you're still going backwards.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So I mean, there's no way to overcome that if you've got a little 2-horsepower electric motor
Right.
pushing your boat around.
Yeah, and
You know?
how would you like to be the guys in the helicopter just watching this? Like, hey, this is going to end up being like a scene from Indiana Jones where they go over the
Yeah.
waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to get it. This will go viral.
Well, it's so precarious. The pilot must have been thinking, "Man, I hope my rotor wash doesn't blow him over the."
Yeah, I think it was
over the
more important
wall.
for him to get the shot. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But but I guess the owners of the boat that had rented it to them throw them a rope, and they actually pulled them back from it. I think that's what happened.
Well, they had to use a gas-powered boat. They realized that the electric just wasn't going to cut it.
Right. See, we're not ready for all this electricity stuff, this electric power. We still need fossil fuels to save people's lives.
They're actually making outboard electric motors that are 180 horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Can you
not the
believe that?
motor. Well,
It's not the motor, it's just the power, just making sure you have the juice when you need it.
It's the battery power that you need. It's the juice, as you said.
Exactly.
It isn't the
It's
motor.
all about the juice. Wasn't there a Seinfeld episode about that? I don't know.
have
It's
no
one of
idea.
those.
Yeah.
It's all about the juice. Anyway, we'll see if we can get Captain Patrick on, or he may have just went over the spillway. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Imagine traveling twice as fast as you can drive. Imagine taking friends and family snorkeling, surfing, skiing, shopping, and more to exotic destinations. Imagine attending business meetings in cities far away and still making it home at night. Or just imagine exploring the wild blue yonder. Quit dreaming about it and get to it. There has never been a better time to become a private pilot, and Flight Training Professionals in Orlando will show you how. Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is your full-service flight school. A state-of-the-art flight simulator, a fleet of the latest Cessna aircraft, and a staff of full-time seasoned flight instructors are just a few of the many reasons Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is the place to start your aviation adventure. Call 407-896-0077. That's 407-896-0077. Or go to ftpros.com. That's ftpros.com.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater. Mike the mariner. Captain Patrick. Jumped in the barrel, went over the falls. I'm not sure what happened. He just wanted to really illustrate that story, I guess, about these folks took their electric boat a little too close to the spillwell. Is that what it is? Spillwell of the dam?
Spillway.
Spillway of the
Yeah.
right. And if you saw this, it looked pretty harrowing. And but they got away unscathed. And got a pretty cool story to share with friends now too. Yeah.
But it underscores the importance of situational awareness.
Correct. That's why I said,
Yeah,
you wonder if it's three ladies, they're out on a boat, just out chilling. They might have Well, it was 4 ladies. Is that what you're saying, Barry? Okay.
Yeah, there were 4 women.
So
on
they're
there.
out just, hanging out on a boat. And they maybe some of them had a cocktail or two. I'm not going to say that was the case. But it sounds like one of those kind of social outings. You know what I mean? Where they could have been out there and weren't really paying attention, like you said. And next thing they know, like, hey, what's this thing sucking us over to this wall over here?
Yeah.
But like I said, I just wonder if they realized it at the time that, literally a foot away was a pretty steep drop. That would have been an amazing story, and good chance they wouldn't have survived it. But
very dangerous because those spillways have an undertow with a the water goes over the spillway, and then there's an undertow, so it can pull you straight down to the bottom.
Right. And then chances are, if they would have survived the crash part and ended up in the water, a humpback whale would have come over and scooped them up and swallowed them whole.
Absolutely.
So
I said,
it wouldn't have ended well any way you look at it. But we'll have to wait and see. But the moral of that story is what? Don't use an electric boat near a dam, or don't use any type of boat.
Like I said, situational awareness. You have to know the weather. You have to know the conditions that you're going out in.
Right.
Is your boat capable of doing it? Stay away from areas where your boat shouldn't be. Yeah. And, those are all things that probably people renting a boat may not think about.
I actually have a similar story that kind of illustrates the same thing. And I'll share that with you and the crew next here on The World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
I'm really excited to check out these beautiful waters with you in a really cool way.
All right.
See that boat over there?
Yeah.
I think we're going to sail on it today.
Oh, my God, yes.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, that's me. Captain Patrick is back with us. He survived the falls, and we're going to find out what happened with him in just a second. Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew. All right, so real quick, this story that kind of is along the same lines as these 4 ladies that went up to the spillway of the dam. I was in Catalina with some friends, and there could have been a cocktail or two. That's kind of why I brought that up. Like maybe the ladies were out just not paying attention, doing more socializing than boating and paying attention to what they were supposed to. And maybe I'm just projecting my own story because we were in Catalina in the marina there at Avalon. And, they have this fast ferry that goes across from Long Beach, California to Catalina, back and forth, 2 or 3 hours every on the hour kind of thing, back and forth, taking passengers. And we were already in the marina hanging out on a boat. And we got on the dinghy, 5 of us. It was in like a 12-footer. So we were pretty packed in there in this small little dinghy. And we had a friend coming over on the fast ferry. We wanted to go and greet when he arrived at the fast ferry dock there, the Catalina Express. And these are jet boats. So they have 2 massive jet engines on the back of this thing that propel this thing through the water and can make it hydroplane, the whole thing, very fast. So they get some pretty powerful engines on it. So we go up after they have hooked up and people start unloading, and we kind of come up towards the back of the boat. It's still idling because they just drop people off and then pick up a new group and head back over to California, right? And next thing you know, I see my buddy, and we all, hey, how you doing, Mark? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you see the crew people on the Catalina Express start yelling and waving back at us. They're like, yeah, hey, how you guys doing? And they're like, no, you're getting too close. You're getting too close. Because the engines were right there at the back of the vessel where we were kind of cruising up to. And it was like, oh, yeah, no problem. And so the guy who was running the motor, he shifts it into a reverse. Well, and it doesn't go. It won't go into reverse. And so we have like 2 oars in the boat, And we start to realize, like, hey, we are starting to drift a little bit closer, and you can see these things. It looks like these jet engines look like the fire exhaust of the Batmobile. Okay, and we're getting closer, and you start to feel the heat. And I'm in the middle of the vessel, and I'm looking at the captain and everybody. They're like, now they're screaming, and now we realize, like, this isn't good, and the boat won't move. Get an oar. And I'm, the one guy grabs an oar and he starts trying to push away, and he can't really get any momentum going because now we got a little bit of a drift and a current going against us. And I'm like, well, this is how I'm going to go. We're going to drift right up to these jet engines of the Catalina Express and have the flesh melted away from our bones. So, there's a huge crowd at the dock. We put on quite an impressive show, and just in the nick of time, Harbor Patrol came over, threw us a rope, and pulled us away from our imminent deaths. So there you go. I have my story too. What does that tell you?
That is a story that could have been told in about an eighth of the time that you just spent.
Yeah, but
it's one of those.
You're supposed to milk it for every minute you can get, Patrick. Come on.
Because when I do that, you're like, come on, get to it. Get to the point. Right. But when you do it, it becomes an old man story where in the 1940s we used to wear hats and we put a fish in our left pocket. Now we really didn't know why we put fish in our left pocket, but it was all the rage.
I don't even know what he's rambling about. I'm just tuning them out.
Barry and Mike do. That's why they're laughing.
Yeah.
I hit it right on the head, sir.
Okay. All right. Patrick's back.
Yes.
I think he landed on his head when he went over the falls. That's what I'm saying.
It seems that every boating season we have, unfortunately, 3 or 4 of these stories related to boats that actually get hung up on spillways, or unfortunately, there's been the occasion where they've gone over. And I just have to question, why do they allow recreational boats out on these bodies of water knowing that these spillways are open?
Well, I noticed we have some small dams down here, and they have floating buoys where the spillways are.
Yeah.
So they had nothing like that marking off this area, I guess.
Well, and you don't want to put any type of a barrier up or a net or anything like that, because in the unfortunate incident where somebody loses power and they get caught up against that barrier, then it could capsize the boat, cause it to go under. Then you're trapped up against this safety device. I just question as to why they're even allowing electric boats, rental boats, out on a body of water like that to begin with.
Well, maybe there was a buffer zone they weren't supposed to, trespass over, and they weren't paying attention. That's my guess.
It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, you've got people that, again, rental boats, you have to figure they're probably not as knowledgeable, and they've got a limited amount of power. And if the unfortunate occurs, here's what you need to do. See this anchor? If you lose power, throw this overboard immediately, so that you don't get hung up over the spillway, capsized, crushed, injured, and or killed.
Yeah.
In that manner.
Well, they either didn't know or they weren't paying attention. It's one or the other, right?
Yeah, maybe, possibly. Who knows? If they may have been like, "Hey, look, there's a waterfall over there. Let's go get some pictures for our Instagram or our TikTok."
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they get a little bit too close, and
maybe there was someone on the dam they were waving to, like, "Hey, it'd be cool. We'll go say, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Mark?"
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're safe. That's all that matters.
And when you look at that story on the World of Boating Facebook page or the World of Boating website, the rescue boat that comes up, I've never seen one like that. It actually looked like a reverse tunnel boat, like a single seat, because the blunt edge, what you would think would be the stern, was pointed towards the boat that was in distress, and the fork ends were aft with the outboard engine mounted in between them. That was something I had not seen before.
Well, I thought it was the rental boat operator's boat that rescued him and pulled him out of there. That's what I thought I read. Is that not right? Or
I read a Parks and Recreation boat had come out. But anyway,
it worked. They survived.
It worked. And if you're out there and you're boating and you're going out to rent a boat and you don't know the area, inquire. Are there any hazards that I need to be aware of? Like a spillway that could kill me, things of that nature. Now, here's I actually don't have a problem with the people that are running. I don't like scam artists, okay? I don't think any of us do, but I really don't have a problem with this particular scam that's going on in this area. Officials warn of Parks Department imposters at area boat launches. So Wassail officials are warning residents that people have been posing as Marathon County Parks Department employees and asking for money at area boat launches.
Why would you not
park
have a
fees
problem
or
with that?
Now
boat
hold on.
ramp fees?
Okay, wait.
This is why I don't have a problem with this. According to Parks Department, someone has been looking for vehicles who didn't pay the boat launch permit. They wait for the owner to get back, and then they demand $50 violation fee.
What do you mean you don't have a problem with that?
Well, they're supposed to pay.
Well, that may be, but
and you get a
not
little
them.
ticket. Nah.
You're saying somebody who decides to take it under their own, they're going to be their own police?
I understand. He doesn't understand.
I know morally not maybe the right thing to do, but honestly, do you have a problem with somebody trying to gig somebody who's trying to get out of paying a boat launch permit fee?
Yeah. I have a problem with the person getting out of the boat launch fee too, if it's supposed to be paid.
Right.
But
Correct.
I certainly have a problem with the scam.
Oh,
yeah, that's what
I think it's genius because listen, if the parks,
if I figured out someone was trying to scam me like that, I'd tell them to go pound sand.
Yeah.
But if the Parks Department isn't going to have somebody out there monitoring, and somebody has some enterprising individual or individuals have taken upon themselves, listen. I got away.
Scam.
But wait, the money's not going to go to anything constructive.
It's not going to anything constructive now. They're not paying it.
They're not paying the fee. So
no, but I mean, if there was actually somebody policing it for real, but you're saying, pay the $50 to this scam artist, and you're good with that, Patrick? What?
I'm saying that if you are an individual and you're going to this particular boat ramp,
you deserve to get scammed. That's what you're saying.
And you are knowingly not paying the permit fee to launch your boat for the day. You're that cheap. You're launching your $180,000 boat to go out boating and spend $300 on gas and food and all that. You can't pay the boat permit fee. Fork over that $50.
Okay, well, if I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong. And we'll just leave it at that on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Batten down the hatches. Aye, aye, sir. Man the bowsprit. Stow the mizzenmast. Jibe the jib boom. Hoist the mainsail and lower the tattersail. Look sharp, lad. Pike the starboard hatch to leeward. Thwarts and trim the scuppers of the port boom deck.
Sitting on a boat dock, playing on my pilot, waiting for you to come home. I'm sitting on a boat dock, playing on my pilot, waiting for you to come home. Oh, I'm sitting right there ever since you've been gone.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew. All right, so you don't want to boat near spillways. You don't want to jump in the water and get scooped up by a humpback whale. Maybe there's some other things you could do on your boat that'd be a little bit more enjoyable today.
If you happen to be up on Boone Lake, Tennessee area, if you happen to be moored up in Serenity Cove, you probably don't want to be there either because a huge part of their boat slip actually broke free and drifted down the river.
The slip itself?
Oh, yeah. A covered slip. I'm talking
A whole dock.
So the
Yes.
dock became
Yeah,
a
the entire-
raft, is what you're saying.
Yep, somebody got themselves an awesome dock on their property.
So some guy shows up at work and walks out there and goes, "Where'd my marina go?"
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Wow.
You know,
Well, these were floating docks then, right? Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, they would have been floating docks.
Okay,
Barry.
okay.
I would expect such a question from Greg.
Yeah, but I'm just making sure because I could understand a floating dock. You break its moorings and off it goes. If it had been a regular dock that floated away, that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was
That would-
a fairly large floating dock that came loose and was drifting down to where it came on some.
Did it have any
person's
boats with
property. No boats, from what I could see. It looked like it was empty.
Yeah.
But
Someone stole the boats first.
a property owner where it came to rest tied it up.
It's like, hey, this is awesome.
That's a pretty busy night. Someone steals all the boats, and then someone steals the marina.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that I don't know necessarily, according to the story, that it was part of a marina because the property owner where the slip, if you will, is currently tied up, said it came loose from Serenity Cove. He knows the slip's owner, and he's tied it to his property to keep it drifting further down the lake.
Ah, okay.
And he said that the dock is a friend of ours. So I'm thinking he's talking about the dock owner, or the dock owner is a doctor. I'm not sure which because it's Tennessee. So who knows? The dock is a friend of ours, and it's about 300 or 400 yards away up to like right there in Serenity Cove, and that it just ropes over tensioned, and they broke, and the dock was boy, these people do not know how to either talk or report. I can't even read this. This is absolutely horrible. I'm trying to read it verbatim, and I just can't.
You just
do
can't.
it.
You got to
I
do it
just
with a
can't.
southern drawl. If it's Tennessee, maybe that'll.
If
maybe
Jerry
that'll
was
help.
here,
Right.
Jerry would make this make sense.
Yeah. Well, he could be our translator for hillbilly.
But
yeah.
hold on, let me hit myself upside the head 5 times, and then I can probably do it.
Okay.
Well, real quick, did you see there was an aerial photograph of, and I don't know the name of the lake, the one where the Hoover Dam is, that is so low now. There was the set of docks.
Oh, Lake Mead.
Yeah,
Lake
that's
Mead.
outside of Vegas. Yeah.
And you saw the docks there completely dry, just sitting there. It looked like someone just took a laser and cut an outline of a dock. It didn't even look real.
Yeah, that lake
Interesting.
is very low.
Well, they don't have to worry about their docks floating away then, I guess.
No.
Look at the bright
no.
side.
But you know, I gotta. If this was somebody's private dock, as I'm looking at this one shot of it taken from somebody's veranda, what we call a balcony here in Florida, but in Tennessee it's a veranda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This thing's had like 11 covered slips in it. If this was somebody's private dock, man, they are doing really well. But it really looked like it came from a marina. It looks like something that you would see actually where you're at, Mike. It looks like something from there from Hidden Harbor, right up the river from you there.
Well, if it floats off like that, let's say where it ended up, the homeowner wasn't friends with this dock owner. Could he just claim ownership like, hey, finders keepers?
I would.
Yeah, salvage rights type of thing. I mean, could that apply in such kind of situation, or would they have to be in the ocean?
Rights?
Yeah,
I was going to say, do salvage rights apply
on an inland body of water like that? I'm not sure, but here's the thing: I would be charging at least $50 per person to dock at my brand new
yes,
slip.
Exactly.
Rental rates will go up immediately for sure. Like, they're like, hey, you know, at the old place it was $50 a slip. Now it's going to be 70.
Right.
Location, location, location.
Hey, as we get ready to wrap up our show, again, some of the things that we didn't get to, there is a really scary video that shows a pickup crashing into a boat. Now, this is something that happened on a residential street, and there's 2 guys that are at the back of the boat, you know, getting ready to head out for the day. This passed out driver said he had just gotten a COVID shot, and that's what caused this to happen. But the
that's a side effect I haven't heard of, by the way.
Me either. But the taken from somebody's home security camera. It's you see everything, and these guys probably never moved so fast in all of their life as they worked to dodge this car that came in. And this aluminum boat literally compacted into the size of a suitcase.
Wow.
Good.
Well,
it's disposable.
They got a good story out of it, at least, I guess. Look, once again, look at the bright side. Look at the stories that you can gain from all this craziness. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it up till next time. Remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better
as a motor.
Safe boating, everyone.
Avast there! Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.